So this is the same, basically, this whole grid just kind of gets pasted over the next year, right? It's just the numbers change. Sometimes there's leap days. Sometimes Veterans Day is on a weekend, and so we don't, we gain kind of a day in some of those situations. But basically, we're always going to have commencement on the third weekend in May, and we're always going to start the first semester on the day after Labor Day.
Keep going and go to the next year. Okay, so 2027 to 2028. So fall semester, to break this down again, so September 7th is the start, again, because of contracts and Labor Day. There's no days between semesters, and then Election Day is off. And so this is November 2nd, decision we have to make at some point. So fall 2027 is not a presidential race, not a midterm year. It's the same thing we have kind of this year, pretty much. Like this year, there's like city council races and Boston mayoral race. So the question is like on off years, how do we feel? And we still want classes off. So just like general like raise of hands if you're good with this and you'd want classes off.
Can I just?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
I just want to add a couple things that have changed. The impetus for this to begin with was Trump's first election. Okay, so this happened several years ago, and since then, obviously we've had some things happen, right? And now the prevalence of mail-in voting and early voting has really taken off, especially in Massachusetts. So it's also something to consider as you think about, maybe some years it's not necessary to have it off, and some years it is. And what you gain if you decide that is that you'll have another day break between the fall and the winter. So what happens, the one thing that we're a little concerned about in these years is that there's only 5 days of add drop during the winter, but grading ends up here. So some of the students will only have a day to kind of decide, am I going to jump in on the winter term to make up for something that I didn't do well in during the semester? And so that would buy us a day here that would actually impact that positively as far as those kinds of students. Yes?
I have a hypothetical question. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, if, for example, this year we had classes on election day, or actually this would be for next year, but if we had classes on election day next year, the date that RAs would have to stay would be back a day. So they'd be able to
Potentially based on other factors in the schedule, that is what we're looking at primarily, is the main factor that would change, is that all of these other days could be
basically all these days would shift over by one. There'd be a blank day here before the winter session.
Can I just get clarification? I am hearing Peter's point, but if I'm correct, the previous calendar that was just presented is already approved.
Yes.
That's right.
So we cannot make any changes to it.
No, and I did get consultation from students on that. But again, I was unaware of the RA impact in that. So the consultation wasn't necessarily giving the full picture. And so that's kind of the state is, yeah.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah. This is the calendar we're looking at, is not the first one I showed. We're moved on to a different year, fall 2027. We are not able to change the calendar for next year. The calendars that we can change, we can impact right now, basically what I started with, I was trying to give you guys a perspective into why the work we're doing here is important, and we need to get your feedback, right? Those changes are made. That's been finalized, but please, we do want input on this stuff. So yeah, I mean, we can do raise of hands. I'm also going to have a survey at the end that'll include this question, but raise of hands, don't be ashamed. You can fill out later too. I can get both sides of feedback. If you do think that this is beneficial, not having class on the fall 2027 election day in particular? Okay, so a few people. And then raise your hands if you would be fine with having classes on this day. Okay, great. And then, yeah, can go. Yeah, and then so another thing here is that we're looking at is, yeah, that RAs might need to finish storm check duty the 23rd. So it's not Christmas Eve, but it is the day before. So still dealing with traffic, dealing with potentially other obligations and stuff and travel. So, okay, Cody. So, yeah, again, winter session would be starting right before Christmas Eve, but it is fully online and asynchronous, the same thing I said before. Cody. Great. Spring 2028. So yeah, we looked at the commencement weekend, and then there's Monday class on different days of the week a couple times here. That's also pretty typical for spring semesters. It's not great, but yeah. So yeah, summer 2028, just so you guys understand, if you're curious about looking into this more at all, light green would be session 1 of the summer. Darker green is session 2. There's also just like the university summer schedule altogether, both. How are y'all feeling? Is this kind of making sense? Okay, great.
So what we're considering now are calendars starting in 27, 28 through 31, 32. Now, none of us are going to be, well, hopefully you guys will all be graduated and you won't be dealing with 20, 30 in the 30s, right? So, you know, whatever standard you guys decide that's what you should have, you know, that's what you're going to get, or at least that's what the committee will consider through 31, 32.
Great.
Also, in regards to the 2027-2028 year, in the same meeting that I'm getting consultation with the RAPM union in regards to the upcoming year, I'm going to be getting their more succinct opinions on this so that we can poll the RAs in the different clusters to figure out if they are really obtusely upset about working on the 23rd and if it is actually necessary for us to add a little bit more of that pressure in getting rid of election day in regards to that.
Yeah, so we're just looking to get feedback, obviously balance different goals. We just want the best that we can do overall for the student body. Yes, 2028, 2029, Cody. So fall 2028, again, same thing. So it's fall 2028, which is a midterm year. So again, September 5th is pushing us into, this schedule's a little bit better for the fall and winter semesters, but just want consultation here. So it is a midterm year. So how are we feeling? Like, again, raise your hands if you would be, if you do like this schedule and not having classes on that day. Does that make sense? It's a midterm election year. So, right? What is? Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh. Yes, presidential. My bad. Yes, presidential. Even better. Presidential election year. Raise your hand if you would want class off on a presidential election year. No, it's not. It's the 7th is what we're looking at. Yeah. Okay, great. Hands down. Then same thing, raise of hands, opposite direction if you're fine with having classes on the presidential election. Don't be ashamed. It's okay. Okay, great. Cody, next. Thank you. So winter, this is an example of a better winter calendar. So you are seeing like this blank day, no classes between the fall and the winter semester. So it does give a little bit more room for students coming off finals and transitioning into classes.
And it happens that way because Veterans Day is on the weekend, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Veterans Day is always on November 11th. If it's on a weekend, then it's on a weekend. They don't make it be a Monday or anything.
Okay. And great. So spring. Again, commencement weekend timeline. You have Monday classes and other days of the week. Not ideal. That's what we're looking at. Yeah. Okay. Summer, same thing. Pretty standard. Questions? How are we feeling? Good, bad? We okay, guys? Almost done? Okay. Let's keep going. A couple more. So 2029, 2030. So September 4th start, and we have class off on November 6th, which is, again, election day, not presidential, not midterm. So how do we feel? So again, raise of hands. You like this schedule. You want to have class off on this election day. Okay. Now raise of hands if you're fine with not having, or sorry, with having classes be held on this day, election day. Okay. And yeah, again, there's a day between the fall and winter semesters, so we're not as pushed, which is good. And that's, again, yeah, Veterans Day is on the weekend. Okay. So yeah, there is, we are looking at potentially having winter session on Christmas Eve, but again, it is winter asynchronous session, so it's fully online, not typically like the kind of classes we have during the semester, so, you know, it could be moved. Like, you could choose not to do work on that day, basically. Yeah. Same thing, commencement weekend timeline, Monday classes on other days of the week. Summer, standard again. Questions? Yes.
Is this going to be considered a first reading, and will you be accepting feedback on this between now and the next session of the Senate?
This is committee of the whole. This is not a first reading. This is not something we are officially passing. This is just work that basically.
Well, will you be accepting feedback on it?
I have a QR code at the end.
Awesome.
I want your feedback now.
Thank you.
Please, I'm staying after Senate. Please reach out, email, phone number, anything you want, in person. I'm in the office a lot, so please reach out. Always looking for extra feedback. Yeah.
When is faculty senate like finalizing the rest of the calendars?
So the 26, 27 calendar, the one we're not changing at all, is this coming session. What we plan to do after we get some feedback from you guys is to go back to the calendar committee and with this feedback, make any adjustments that are the committee decides to make. Okay, so we're getting input, but the committee is really the one that's going to bring this forward to the AMC, and then the AMZ has to vote on it. So those changes are going to be made after the committee meets. So we're going to wait until we get some feedback from you guys before we meet, and then we'll start considering those calendars. Having said that, we're not going to wait that long. So don't dawdle.
Yeah, I just want to very briefly make the point when it comes to off-year election days. The Amherst and Northampton both allow our local governments on off-year election days. The 2029 election day is going to be a mayoral election in Northampton. Northampton is currently undergoing, where I live, is currently undergoing once in a generation levels of political turmoil and intrigue. And so I think it's I would very much encourage folks to consider the real sort of intensity and really strong shifting winds in Western Mass politics right now.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Great clarification. It is also something you can think about that maybe for some students it would be easier to be able to go at some point during the day, go to early voting periods in person that are right nearby, feel comfortable if they put their mail-in ballot in a PO box that it will get there on time and you're not sending it somewhere else. It is obviously still elections. They are important. Nonpartisan way, please vote. It's important, but yeah.
Yeah, and just to explain all of that's why this is so important for us to give this feedback and pay attention, because these decisions can affect whether or not people can vote in person and have to use mail-in ballots. And then we have to make sure that we're educating those individuals that are on campus, whether they need to register to vote here or how they can get their ballots from here to their home states where they are registered to vote. So in regards to that, making sure that we're checking which elections are going on, which election day and which year, not determining any kind of value, whether it's federal or local, but making sure that if we need to make a decision that, we need to knock off an election day and we don't really want to, making sure that if we do have to, getting infrastructure ready in place for students to get educated on how they can continue to vote, regardless of whether or not they have classes on that day.
Okay, great. Cody, thank you. So 2030, 2031, fall. Same thing again, we have election day off, 2030, midterm year. So not presidential, but there is still more stuff on the ballot, considered more of a federal election. So raise of hands if you are good with this schedule, having class off on this election day. Okay, and then raise of hands if you're fine with having class on election day. Okay. And so there is no day between the fall and winter semesters, so it is again not ideal, but that would be also because of Veterans Day moving back into a week instead of on the weekend. Yeah, winter semester on Christmas Eve again, same thing I said before. Spring, pretty standard to the other ones. Same thing with summer. So questions, all in the same boat here. So I'm getting a sense that we're kind of into keeping the presidential and the midterm elections off, and then we're kind of split a little bit more on some of the other ones. So, okay. So again, survey at the end, please reach out. We'll get others in consultation as well, not just Senate, but yeah. Okay, 2031, 2032, so this is the last one. So election day is currently off. So again, raise of hands, 2031, off, you're not presidential, not midterm. You're good with this, having class off on election day. Okay, great, thank you. Then raise of hands if you're fine with having classes on election day. Yeah, okay. And there is no day again between the fall and winter semesters. And class on Christmas Eve. And then this is pretty standard. I think, wait, actually go back. I think the commencement did move up about 1 week.
No, it's always the third weekend. It's just sometimes
okay.
it's just like Labor Day changes, the third week in May changes based on.
Great. Okay, summer, standard again. And that's it. So thank you guys for listening, being active. QR code here, if you can scan it, please. We want feedback. Would love to get some responses. It's like literally 4 questions, optional, open responses.
Everyone get your phone up right now. Come on.
Please.
We've been sitting here for how long? Get your phone up. Show us your picture.
Thank you, Urja. Okay.
Committee house.
Thank you, guys. And then any final questions before we're done with this conversation? Okay, great. Catch me later if you're. Oh, sorry, Esther. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, so Esther just asked again if the calendar for next year is set. Yeah, at this point, it has been passed by the calendar subcommittee and by Academic Matters Council, and it's up at Faculty Senate. Yeah, it is pretty set. I've also heard from faculty that they are in support of the current state of the calendar as well. So I would expect it to be fully set. There's really not much of anything that can be done within the actual calendar, but again, with RIPM unions, with talking about different policies the university has, like move out times, there is potentially work that we can do to advocate for trying to make the best of it and making it easier for the student body.
I'm pretty confident that in conjunction with the RAPM union, we can find a compromise with the Res Life department to get RAs out of the building as fast as possible. There's been precedent for years that RAs and PMs end up waiting longer than they have to be there anyway. There's nothing affecting pay because it's all stipended. It's simply just the contract that they have in regard to being there for a certain amount of time, and those contracts have yet to be signed. And I'm sure we can make edits to that and agreements with that. So I know we can get work done on that to ensure that.
Okay. So great, thank you guys so much.
Thanks for that presentation. In the interest of time, I'm adjourning committee of the whole, so the Senate will be in order and continue to consider the remainder of the agenda. The Senate will now consider S16, a motion to appoint Brianne Casimore to the position of conduct advisor, although the chair will entertain a motion to suspend the rules to rearrange the agenda. Anyone? Chair Dami? Motion to suspend the rules to rearrange the order of the agenda has been moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Will the new order be that S24 is considered next?
Yeah.
Okay, so to rearrange the order of the agenda to consider S24 as the Senate's next order of business. Is there any questions about that? Chair Mello? That is what I will be doing. The question is out of order. Is there a need for debate on this subsidiary motion? With no indication for a need to debate, the motion is called and the question is on the adoption of the subsidiary motion to suspend the rules, to rearrange the order of the agenda, to consider S24 as the Senate's next order of business. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say no. Those abstain, say abstain. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the motion is adopted. The Senate will now consider S24 as its next order of business. So we are now considering S24, a motion to appoint Hamna Mustafa to the position of SGA Treasurer, sponsored by Chair Dami. The sponsorship is recognized for a factual description of the motion and then may yield to questions of fact.
Secretary Leone submitted this motion to me. Just very normal procedure. The hiring process was non-discriminatory, and Hamna was the best fit for this position. So, yeah.
Did you want to yield to Secretary Leone?
Do you want to come up, introduce yourself real quick? I opened up applications beginning of June. I had 13 applications. I gave everybody an interview, and Hamna was the best fit. So I went with her. I'll let her introduce herself and open up to a few questions.
Hi, everyone. I'm Hamna. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an accounting and econ major at UMass, and I'm involved now in SGA, and I'm also a treasurer in the Pakistani Students Organization.
Does anybody have any questions about the process or anything about Hamna's experience? Cool, that's all I got. So hopefully you guys pass Hamna.
Is there a second for the special order? Second. Does there exist a need for debate? With no indication of a need for debate, the motion is called and the question is on the passage of S24, a motion to appoint Hamna Mustafa to the position of SGA Treasurer. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Those abstain say abstain. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. All right. The Senate will now move on to the consideration of S16, which is a motion to appoint Brianne Casimore to the position of conduct advisor, although S16 through S22 are, Senator Ficizzo.
Sorry. Okay. Can I make a motion to block vote all of the conduct advisor appointments?
Second. I second this as well.
A motion to block vote S16 through S22 has been moved and seconded. The sponsor is recognized to make a brief factual description. Are there any questions for the sponsor? The motion is called, and the question is on the adoption of the subsidiary motion to block vote S16 through S22. Again, just for the new senators, block voting, it only applies to special orders, but if this motion to block vote passes, that means that we will vote on S16 all the way through S22 all in one vote. And again, those are all the conduct advisor appointments. So those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, say no. Those abstain, say abstain. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the motion is adopted. So now we will consider S16 through S22 motions to appoint Brianne Casimore, Catherine Hardiman, Lara Gutierrez, Naomi Bloom, Sarah Johnson, Valentina Ramirez, and Valeria Centenaro to the position of conduct advisor.
And this is pretty normal. Conduct advisors have been working for a while now. We added them to the payroll and everything. They've been working since, I think they got hired in the summer. They've been working since the beginning of this year. Hiring process, non-discriminatory, and they were the best fit for this position. I yield my time.
Yield to the Deputy Attorney General? Yes. Do you have anything? No? Okay. Is there a second for the special order? Second. Does there exist a need for debate? With no indication of a need for debate, the motion is called and the question is on the passage of S16 through S22, motions to appoint Brianne Casimore, Catherine Hardiman, Lara Gutierrez, Naomi Bloom, Sarah Johnson, Valentina Ramirez, and Valeria Centenaro to the positions of conduct advisor. Those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, say the ayes have it, and the special orders are passed. The Senate will now consider S23, a motion to appoint Hai Tran to the position of Undersecretary of International Affairs, sponsored by Chair Kim. Senator Fracchizzo?
I'm talking a lot today. Can we motion to table this until the next Senate meeting on October 15th?
Is there a second? A motion to table S23 until the next regularly scheduled Senate meeting on October 15th has been moved and seconded. The sponsor is recognized to make a brief factual description of their subsidiary motion.
Yeah, so Hai's just not able to be here today, and then Exec was just looking for a little more time.
Are there any questions for the sponsor? Is there a need for debate on this subsidiary motion? With no indication of a need for debate, the motion is called and the question is on the adoption of the subsidiary motion to table S23 until the next regularly scheduled Senate meeting on October 15th. And tabling basically means that we'll put it off until that meeting. Those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, say no. Those abstain, say abstain. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the motion is adopted. So S23 will be tabled until our next meeting. With that, the Senate will move on to the consideration of S25, a motion to appoint Brian Beltrami to the position of Deputy Attorney General, sponsored by Chair Dami. The sponsorship is recognized for a brief factual description and then may yield to questions of fact.
Same thing as like conduct advisors, has been working for a long time, has a lot of experience in the SGA and the conduct advising office, best fit for this position, and no discriminatory hiring processes. I yield my time to the Attorney General.
Does the Attorney General or Brian want to make a comment?
Hi, everyone. I'm Owen. I'm the Interim Attorney General. Brian has been doing a great job so far. Very happy to be working with him. He's just managing the conduct advisors. They all love him as well, they'll tell you. But yeah, he's doing a great job. We'd love to see him approved.
Are there any questions for the sponsorship? Secretary Nevins.
Can I have a brief descriptions of the outstanding qualifications of Mr. Brian Beltrami?
And then moving forward, the SSC, which my position would be the chair of, would work with the SES to allocate that funds to orgs that we invite to the SSC. And then we kind of task that out and manage that money as a way of getting people actually involved and communicating with each other through this space in the SSC, as opposed to just kind of like a check-in every month. And as far as working with people within the student government, I've got a bunch of resolutions and what have you that we'll be bringing in front of the Senate. Of course, going to collaborate with all the necessary bodies that we think we need consultation on. So check your emails. I'm probably going to blow some of your inboxes up. The SSC. I can send you, I should post somewhere when the meetings are. They were not super fruitful, so we didn't have it this month. But I'm going to be reaching out to all the orgs that are members and scheduling more times going forward. And we'll also, I guess, post and send out emails about when they're happening. And as far as joining, I would join one of the orgs that's part of the SSC. So there's the Sunrise Movement, there's the wildlife clubs, there's things that nature, but the SSC is open to anyone. So you can just come to the next meeting.
Any other questions for Secretary Lecuyer? Is there a second for the special order? Second. Does there exist a need for debate? With no indication of a need for debate, the motion is called and the question is on the passage of S26, a motion to appoint Ella Baumann to the position of Undersecretary of Sustainability. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Those abstain say abstain. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. That's all the special orders that were submitted to the office of the Speaker. There is no unfinished business from the last meeting, so we'll move on to new business. One main motion was submitted to the office of the Speaker, and so the Senate will now consider S27, a motion to amend Title VII, Chapter 7 of the Constitution and General Bylaws of the Student Government Association, sponsored by Chair Hood. The sponsorship is recognized for a factual description of the motion and then may yield to questions of fact.
Yeah, so this amendment doesn't do anything too drastic. It's mostly just that we can carry out this current registry process successfully. Yeah, it's just Section 6. Basically, we moved the timeline a little bit because the one that was in the bylaws didn't quite line up with how our current process works, so it wouldn't quite be possible for us to carry it out. So the current final deadline will be set for October 31st, and then decisions will be out by November 14th. And one other change that we made is there was seemingly a mistake in this section that required UROC to meet twice with every applicant, and we struck that. And instead, I'll be planning on allowing each applicant to meet with UROC once. That's it.
Are there any questions for the chair? Senator Fracchizzo.
Nice. Sorry, this is really quick. I just wanted to kind of clarify something for myself. When you say, like, as a result of this amendment, applicants would be allowed to meet with UROC once, would that mean, like, if they felt the need to follow up and requested, that wouldn't necessarily be allowed? Or is that just, like, what the standard would be for everybody. Like as a baseline, they would meet with you once. Like I'm just a little bit confused.
Yeah, it's not written in this bylaw in this current section how many times they would meet with us. If they wanted to meet with me, had more questions and wanted to meet with me twice, we could make that exception, but it's not written into this amendment.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
Are there any further questions? Is there a second for the main motion? Does there exist a need for debate? Chair Hood? Motion to amend has been called. Is there a second? Motion to amend has been moved and seconded. What is the amendment?
Change the word and number 7th to 9th.
This one here?
Yep,
That's what's changed. Just that?
that's it.
Are there any questions? Does the sponsor want to make a brief factual description?
There was developments made after this motion was submitted that makes this date better fit our priorities.
Are there any questions for the sponsorship? Vice President Nalivo?
Yeah, I said there was developments made after we changed 7th to the 9th, which means October 31st.
Are there any further questions for the sponsorship? Is there a need for debate on the subsidiary motion? With no indication of a need for debate, the motion is called in the... Oh, sorry.
You're saying same number as weeks as it was written in the bylaws before? It basically extends it 2 weeks. Yeah.
Are there any further questions? Is there a motion to recognize a non-member of the Senate to speak? Chair Dami? Is there a second for the motion to recognize a non-member of the Senate to speak? Okay. A lot of procedure. Okay. A motion to recognize a non-member of the Senate to speak has been moved and seconded. And is called. So those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Those abstain say abstain. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the subsidiary motion is adopted. Can we get a microphone in the back corner, please? And if you wouldn't mind stating your name just for the record.
Leona, I just would like the sponsor to explain. I'm just a little confused about the addition for like the applications until the 70th application is received. So just like a little explanation. I don't know. That wasn't explained in the facts. But I think that's an addition. I might be reading it wrong.
Yeah, so the 70th part, that was an amendment added last year, so that's nothing new.
Okay.
But yeah, that caps the preliminary applications at 70. But that has already been filled
So
as of
that's already
September.
voted in?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
23rd.
Are there any further questions for the sponsorship? Okay. And there was no indication for debate? So then the motion is called and the question is on the adoption of the subsidiary motion to amend the main motion to replace 7th week with 9th week. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Those abstain say abstain. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the motion is adopted. Can you replace it with an aye? It's already highlighted. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, that'll be reformatted, but it is now the 9th week. So now we're returning to consideration of the main motion as a whole. Does there exist a need for debate on the main motion, which is the whole bylaw amendment? With no indication of a need for debate, the motion is called and the question is on the passage of S27, a motion to amend Title 7, Chapter 7 of the Constitution and General Bylaws of the Student Government Association. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say no. Those abstained, say abstain. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Okay, we'll get that. We will now move on to officer reports. University Student Trustee Marino is recognized. President Borowski is recognized.
Thank you. Hey guys, I'll keep this nice and brief. Not much has changed since last week. As we covered at the beginning, the consultant's report is making its way out and we are in the phases of implementing that report. So if you are interested, please reach out to me ASAP to figure out where you want to fit in all of this. And other than that, just a general reminder for if you have any big ideas that pertain to any of the 12 secretaries, I would please recommend that all of you reach out to them. They have a lot of expertise and they're very passionate about all these topics and they can't wait to help you. They're always in the office, and if you need to find their emails, they're on the website. So yeah, just open communication. And again, if you want to help reform the way we operate, reach out to me ASAP. My email's up there. Thank you.
Thank you, President Borowski. Vice President Nolivo is recognized. Well, my report out's in the packet. I don't think I have anything else to add. Associate Speaker?
Yes, okay, so my report out is in the report outs packet, but I am excited to announce that we will be hiring a clerk and a records officer. The clerk, well, the job of the clerk would be to assist me with minutes taking, which is what Chair Dami is doing right now. So please alleviate her from this awful burden. But, and not awful, please apply. And also helping the Office of the Speaker create the agenda, not only take minutes, but also compile them and send them out. And then also records officer to help the Office of the Speaker comply with any public records requests and keeping up with the Senate record system. Yeah, so the clerk gets 5 hours a week and the records officer gets 3 hours a week. Both applications are in, if you scan that QR code in the top corner, you can access both applications. The applications are opening now. They're open. They should be open now. And then they will close next Thursday. So you have about a week to apply. The application is pretty straightforward. I think there's only 4 or 5 questions. It should be pretty short. And I will also send out the link to the applications after this meeting. So thank you.
Are there any questions for the Associate Speaker? That's my old job. I used to be clerk. Just wanted to throw that out there. The Chief Justice may be recognized if present. The next one, RHA. The Residence Hall Association President may be recognized if present. Any RSO Council Presidents may be recognized if present. Don't. Any agency representatives may be recognized if present. The cabinet secretaries have their report outs in the reports packet. Are there any questions for any of the secretaries from any of the senators? Any cabinet secretary seeking to make a verbal report for urgent matters may be recognized for a minute. Secretary Nevins.
Just two things. First, I'm working on making the University Food Insecurity Working Group. It's essentially a task force. We've been getting a lot of data from the Basic Needs Director about that issue. It's just kind of finalizing how we can get action steps on that. I would love to have all of you involved on that so that we can get administration to know what we're thinking and we can collaborate on those issues. Secondarily, my university policy project managers, I've heard people have had some questions about those. So if you do have any concerns or questions about that kind of stuff, please just reach out to me. My email's over there, and I'm in the office like kind of often. So you should see me around.
Thank you, Secretary Nevins. Does any other cabinet secretary seek recognition for an announcement? Any faculty senate representatives may now be recognized. Any ESO event representatives? And any advisory board representatives may be recognized to make a report, if present. Well, if not, the committee chairs also submitted their reports out. Are there any questions for any of the committee chairs about their report out? Other than Chair Trong, who's not here. Does any committee chair seek to make a verbal report for urgent matters? Okay, if not, the SGA advisor may be recognized. All right. Are there any motions on the floor other than a motion to adjourn? There being no motions on the floor except a motion to adjourn, the associate speaker will record the ending roll call. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. My bad. Yeah, ending roll call.
Senator Ashrafi. Senator Ashrafi present. Senator Bauman. Senator Bauman present. Senator Baker. Senator Baker present. Senator Belair. Senator Belair present. Senator Chamu. Senator Chamu present. Senator DeHayes. Senator DeHayes present. Senator DeRiggi. Senator DeRiggi present. Chair Dami. Chair Dami present. Senator Dang. Dang present. Senator Duarte. Duarte absent. Senator Faciso. Senator Faciso present. Senator Hercule Espinal. Present. Senator Hirnandandi. Hirnandandi present. Chair Hood. Chair Hood is excused. Senator Kennedy. Senator Kennedy present. Senator Jame. Senator Jame present. Chair Kim. Chair Kim is excused. Senator Cohison. Cohison present. Senator Lamore. Senator Lamore present. Senator Malari. Senator Malari present. Senator Manda. Senator Manda absent.